Next up on the 2025 Kentucky Derby Monster Pod, very proud to bring in a man who is one of the many contributors who does such a great job for us over at inthemoneypodcast.com, providing top level analysis for free. And one of those excellent ideas he gave was back in the Virginia Derby in the middle of March when he told you that American Promise was going to win. All American Promise did was go and justify that with a score at 7-1. But that was then. This is now. Want to hear what Michael Domabyl thinks about American Promise. Michael, give us an overview of this horse before we get into his particulars regarding the Derby.
Yeah, this is a big chestnut colt. He's 17 hands and growing, as Dwayne Lukas said. Justify out of a Tapit mare, so the pedigree is all there. It'll be Dwayne Lucas's 51st starter in the Kentucky Derby. 44 years from his first one, which
amazing,
is absolutely amazing. So from that perspective, it's awesome to see him in the Kentucky Derby. And while it's Dwayne Lucas's 51st starter, it'll be rider Nick Juarez's first mount in the Kentucky Derby. So the two ends of the spectrum there coming together for this colt.
That's fantastic. What a great overview. He took a while to break his maiden, but once he did, seemed to establish himself at a new level of form. When did you first become aware of this horse?
Yeah, definitely his maiden win. When maiden wins come back with buyers in the mid-90s, it's always worth taking note. And then I was kind of always following him pretty closely. I noticed he had a couple subtle trips in the two prep races that ahead of the Virginia Derby. So one of the keys for him is just trying to keep his face clean during races. So I would envision his best chance in the Kentucky Derby would be drawing outside and kind of getting that stalking trip, kind of the American Pharaoh trip where you're three wide around the turn and let that stamina come into play versus trying to weave in and eat dirt for a lot of the race.
Never easy. One of my colleagues in the UK on Sky Sports Racing the other day said a phrase I swore I was going to steal, and I'll start here. Clean faces win races.
Yeah, I heard that late night on FanDuel TV as well, in a Charlestown call. So
that's where it was spreading. From. He was citing the Charlestown caller, who I wish I could even name check, but I don't know the name to check. Well, you gave the scenario for American Promise to do well in the Kentucky Derby, but as the man who correctly prognosticated his win in Virginia, do you think? I mean, how likely do you think that is? Is this horse going to be a key for you in Louisville?
I think one of the good things about this horse is I'll know with the draw and how I design the race whether I would want to use him. If he's kind of in that like 14 and out post position, drawn outside the other speeds, that's a situation where I would want to key him underneath and maybe have him as a backup in pick 5 tickets. But if he's drawn on the inside, I think it's going to be an uphill battle because you can kind of look at some of his races where he didn't run so well. Those were when he was in behind horses, didn't get out in the clear. And he has a little bit of a penchant for breaking a little bit slow. So, and that in the Kentucky Derby can spell doom. So drawn outside and with a clean break, he's definitely got a chance to hit the board.
Want to let folks know this video brought to you by our friends at TwinSpires.com, the Kentucky Derby Betting Challenge, an event I wouldn't be shocked to see Michael Domabyl's name on the leaderboard for. Coming up on Derby Day, you can qualify all month long. TwinSpires.com, navigate over to that tournaments tab, get involved with horse racing's latest major tournament. Okay, you're talking about hitting the board. I've heard you say that a couple of times, but we need to ask you the key question. What is this horse's ceiling? Is that it?
I think his ceiling is kind of in that second through fourth positions. I don't think, as much as I would love to see the Virginia Derby produce a Kentucky Derby winner in the first year of it switching to dirt and being a key prep race on the road to the first Saturday in May. I think his ceiling is kind of in that second to fourth rungs on the ladder. He'll need to take a step forward into the triple digit buyers to win. And I think he's kind of tops out in the mid to high 90s.
I suppose that attitude might change if some of the other key speed runners that we're examining now decide not to participate. I mean, how important is it who lines up against him, regardless of what draw he gets?
Yeah, I think the speed is always, looking at the pace is always important for the Kentucky Derby. But when you have 20 horses that get in the gate, it always seems like one or two that you weren't expecting quarter horse out of there and try to get good position. So we always kind of hear rumblings of maybe this is the year that there's going to be a 47 half in the Kentucky Derby, but I'll believe it when I see it when there's 20 horses lined up.
Great stuff, Michael. Appreciate you. We'll continue to check out your fantastic work on inthemoneypodcast.com and want folks to subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel. Loads of great content on there. And while you're over there, please subscribe and throw this video a like as well.